ॐ वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्ट्वागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। So far so good?
Very good,
Yes,
Guruji.
Guruji. Very good.
Okay, now we will chant this sixth mantra. Yat tat adreshyam
Yat
Adreshyam
agrahyam
Agrahyam
agotram
Agrotram
avarnam
Avarnam
achakshusrotram
Achakshusrotram
tadapaanipadam
Tadapaanipadam
nityam vibhum
Nityam Vibhum
sarvagatam
Sarvagatam
susukshmam
Susukshmam
tadavyayam
Tadavyayam
yadbhutayonim
Yadbhutayonim
paripashyanti dhiraah.
Paripashyanti dhiraah.
Very good. So this mantra describes the nature of Akshara Brahman, which was talked about in the fifth mantra. If you all recall, where it was said, Athapara yaya tad aksharam adhigamyate. That Akshara Brahman, which is the subject matter of Paravidya, is described in the sixth mantra. And in the last class, we completed seeing the meaning of this mantra. I will not repeat them here because we will again be seeing the meanings in the context of the Bhashyam. Towards the end of the last class, we were discussing the meaning and import of the last word of this mantra, Dhirah. Even though the simple meaning of this word can be taken as a wise person or wise people, Dhirah is there, so plural, qualified people, those who have got Dhihi, Buddhi, Viveka, Vairagya, etc. I was explaining how Pujya Swamiji interprets this word. Pujya Swamiji says that Dhira refers to those people who have got twofold qualifications. That is cognitive skill and maturity. Cognitive skill means the person knows how to think properly. People who have the discipline of thinking. how to approach a particular subject matter, how to follow the line of argument, how to present your ideas logically and convincingly. That is called the cognitive skill. And not only in terms of Vedanta, even in our day-to-day life, this is a very important skill. Because we may be in different situations in the family, in the organization, in the office, in the society. One should be able to, convincingly present one's own idea so that others buy into that. So that is the first qualification. Second qualification, I said, was maturity. And as I was mentioning, that Pujya Swamiji used to consider that person to be a mature person who has compassion towards himself and also towards everyone else. See, what a beautiful definition Pujya Swamiji gives. Otherwise, it is very difficult. With maturity, you can define in so many different ways. But in the context of spirituality, what maturity means is one must be compassionate towards everybody else and also compassionate towards one's own self. A person who is objective in his transaction with others and also who is objective about his own virtues and faults. He is the one who appreciates Ishvara's order in the behavior of everyone, including himself. He is never judgmental. He appreciates his own weaknesses and he constantly tries to improve himself. At the same time, he is not harsh either with the world nor on himself. He takes everything everything that happens within the order of Ishvara, within the cosmic order. There is a reason why everything is happening. Probably at the particular point in time, we may not be able to appreciate the reason. So he appreciates the vibhuti, the glory of Ishvara, and Ishvara's order, the cosmic order, because of which this entire universe is functioning in an orderly manner. So when I say everything is vibhuti of Ishvara, I should include myself also in that. I am also vibhuti of Ishvara. I am also glory of Ishvara. And I thank Bhagavan for having so many vibhutis in my life. My parents, my teachers, my elders, the society in which I live, so many well-wishers. I am thankful that I am there. This individual as an individual is there, this body is there. All this is blessing of Ishvara. My eyes are functioning, ears are functioning, all my faculties are functioning. Even when I get sick, I get a good doctor, that is vibhuti of Ishvara. He treats me and I become okay, I become well, that is vibhuti of Ishvara. So everywhere, this mature person sees only the glory of Ishvara. The thinking intellect is there. And when I look at all these things, I learn to be kind to myself as well. Because this one problem we have often seen. I have seen many people, they are very kind to others. But sometimes they are not kind to themselves. And then what happens? This kindness to others will not be comprehensive and long lasting if you are not kind to your own self. It will become conditional afterwards. That's why I don't know, long ago, there was one of these books, motivational books. I am okay, you are okay. That's a very beautiful book, relevant totally, even today. If you are okay with yourself, the whole world will be acceptable to you. The whole world will be okay. If you are not okay, so you may consider the whole world to be okay for some time, but that will not last long. You can be kind genuinely with others only when you are kind to your own self. And that type of kindness will be simply based when, if you are not kind to yourself and then you are kind to others, that kind of kindness will simply be based on some statements or parental advice. Somebody has told you, your parents have told you, you have to be very kind to everything, you have to be kind to animals, you have to be kind to, that is it will not be coming up from your own self. You are following some advice. Yeah, somebody has told me, if I am not kind to others, that is a papa, I will be punished for that. Or other way around. If I am kind to others, I will get punyam, etc. So because of those reasons, let me be kind to others. That will not be a genuine, solid kindness. When I am kind to myself based on the appreciation of the order, that I am in order and others are also in order. Therefore, I am kind to myself, I am kind to others. Such a kindness implies objectivity, which implies appreciation of the order. Then this person is a mature person. In fact, Pujya Swamiji used to use a term complete man. In fact, he says he picked up this word from that particular advertisement, the Raymond fabrics. I don't know, some of you might have seen. I don't know whether, I don't see any of these advertisements these days, but those days it used to come. Raymond fabrics, that tagline was the complete man. So a mature person and a person having a cognitive skill is called dhiraha. And such a person, when he listens to the Shastra, he or she does not have any distraction. Because why does our mind get distracted? We get distracted when our mind is preoccupied with so many other things. I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to get this, I have to get rid of this. I like so and so person, I don't like so and so person. So when you sit in the class without any such agenda, your attention will be very high. Attention span also will be high. And that is why it is said, Sanyasya Shravanam Kuryat. Having renounced everything, do Shravanam. Whether you take formal sannyasa or not, but when you come to attend the class, this class or any class, any Vedanta, Gita class, at least for 1 hour, you become a sannyasi. Give up everything, all thoughts. Just focus on what is being taught. Put off your mobile in, put them in airplane mode. As you enter the class, if it is a physical class, if it is this thing, as you log in, everything you leave outside. That 1 hour listening to Vedanta, fully focus. Such a person is called Dhiraha. And such people, paripashyanti, they are able to understand, they are able to know the Akshara Tattvam. So in this mantra, the nature of Akshara Tattvam or Brahman was presented as being distinct from Drishya and Drashta. The Drit and Drishya. As the Adhishtanam of Drishya and Drashta. Free from the limitation of time and space. And at the same time, it is the truth of the entire world. Also, the nature of Brahman as Jagat Karanam was described, so that one's understanding of Brahman, which is Atma, is complete. Now we will see the Bhashya. Since it's a very long paragraph, we will read the paragraph up to Avarna and discuss and then continue later. Okay. Bhakshamanam buddhau
Buddhau
samhritya
samhritya
siddhavat paramrishyate yattat iti adreshyam adrishyam sarvesham buddhi indriyanam agamyam ityetat drisher bahihi pravrittasya panchendriya dwarakatvat agrahyam karmendriya vishayam ityetat agotram gotrah anvayah moolam ityanartantaram anarthantaram iti anarthantaram agotram ananvayam ityartah nahi tasya moolamasti yenanvitam syat avarnam varnyante iti varnaha dravya dharmaha stulatvadayah shuklatvadayo va very good. So, what are the first two words of the mantra? Yat, which means which.
Yadreshyam.
Yat, tad, adreshyam. First two is yat and tad, right? So, yat
Yes.
means which, tad means that. And yat and tad are pronouns. In Sanskrit, it is called sarvanama. And what is pronoun? That which is referring to the noun is called a pronoun. Because many times what would have happened? The noun would have already been used. And afterwards, instead of using the noun again and again, we use another word referring to the noun which has already been talked about. And that word is called a pronoun. Like for example, Rama is the son of Dasharatha, we say. Then I need not say Rama went to forest, Rama killed Ravana, all that. Once I have said Rama is the son of Dasharatha, I can just say he went to forest, he killed Ravana, etc. Isn't it? So here Rama is the noun and he is a pronoun which is qualifying the noun. So once we have introduced the noun, we can use pronoun. So here, yat and tat are pronouns. Now there could be one possible objection, and that is, how can you use a pronoun referring to Akshara Tattvam when Akshara Tattvam itself has not been talked about in this mantra? So first the mantra should have talked about Akshara Tattvam, then the pronoun tat can be used. But what here we have to understand is, if we read the fifth mantra along with the sixth mantra or other way around, sixth mantra along as a continuation of the fifth mantra, then in the fifth mantra, Akshara Tattvam was used. So in the sixth mantra, it says Tat. As I said, Ataparayaya Tadaksharam Adhigamyate. Aksharam word has been used. So we discussed there in the fifth mantra also that the word Aksharam, which is a subject matter of Paravidya, will be talked about in the sixth mantra. And that is why Yat and Tad, they are used. These are all, I would put it that from a Sanskrit grammar point of view, very, very important points. Because suddenly you say Yat Tad means what is Yat and what is Tad? Where have you talked about that? You cannot start a sentence with a pronoun. All that objections will come from people who know grammar, who know the language. And that is why this needs to be explained. And normally, if we have not used the noun in a mantra, this yat and tad, the pronoun cannot be used. So Bhashyakara at the beginning of the Bhashyam is assuming that, okay, somebody may raise such an objection. Somebody who is a scholar, he may raise such an objection. So foreseeing that, Bhashyakara is answering that objection. He doesn't present the objection, he simply gives the answer. He says, Vaksyamanam buddhau samhritya siddhavat paramrishyate yattat iti. Paramrishyate means referred to. What is referred to? Aksharam Brahma. Siddhavat. Siddha means established. Siddhavat means as though established. Of course, even though it is not yet completely established, it has been referred to in the fifth mantra, and here it is referred to as tat, as if, borrowing from the fifth mantra, the tat makes sense. And not only that, going forward also, that tat, which is referring to Akshara Brahman, is going to be explained in detail, and it is going to be established. What is that Akshara Brahman? And that's why he says Vakshamanam, which is going to be stated. So both ways we have to understand this use of these words yat and tat in the mantra. So having kept what is going to be told later on in mind, Siddhavat Aksharat Tattvam is Paramrishyate, is referred to as if already known by the expression, as if already known, and it is referred to by these words yat and tat iti. So even though normally we will not use it, Bhashyakara says, going by what has already been stated in the fifth mantra and going by what is going to be stated hereafter, the usage of yat tat is quite okay. There is nothing wrong with that. I mean, I can give you another example. Suppose I tell somebody, give me that book which is on the table or which is on the chair. I will show you something. Here I use the word that because in my mind it is already Siddha. I know what I am going to talk about, and therefore I will say, give me that book. Even though I don't need to say, can you see a book there? The title of the book is that. Can you give me that book? I don't need to say all these things. If I just say, give me that book, that refers to that book. Because I know what I have in mind. So it is already Siddha. So Bhashikara says that even though this rule is there, it is not necessary that the noun should be stated first. It can always be used, the pronouns can be used when the noun is going to be told. What is going to be told is kept in mind and which is following immediately. Therefore, paramrishyate, we have to borrow aksharam from the previous mantra. So, aksharam paramrishyate. So, now that is telling. Adreshyam. The first adjective used. He says adreshyam is adrishyam. Sarvesham buddhi indriyanam agamyam ityetat. So adreshyam. As I said earlier, adreshyam is not a regular form. It is chandasa prayoga. The form which can be derived by Paninian grammar, Paninian Vyakaranam will be adrishyam. Adrishyam is a regular word which literally means invisible. And here, invisible stands for all unknowable, unobjectifiable. And therefore, adreshyam means unobjectifiable through the organs of perception. That's why Bhashyakara gives the meaning of adreshyam as adrishyam. He is now bringing the correct usage, grammatical usage. Adrishyam, invisible, that is ityetat, means this is the meaning. What is the meaning? Sarvesham buddhi indriyanam agamyam. Sarvesham means all. Buddhi indriyanam is one. So it's a compound word, one word, right? But it's a compound. Buddhi indriyanam stands for pancha jnanendriyam, for all organs of perception. Agamyam means inaccessible, unavailable. So this Akshara Tattvam is inaccessible to all organs of perception or all organs of knowledge, all Jnanendriyas. Buddhi Indriyanam, see how beautifully use a Buddhi here stands for Jnanam. So Buddhi we must not interpret as intellect. Buddhi Indriyana means Jnana Indriyana. So Akshara Tattvam is not available for the Jnanendriyas, all organs of perception. That is the meaning of Adrishyam Ityetat. Now, there could be another question from one of the scholars. Adrishyam, you said, means Adrishyam, invisible. And Adrishyam is what? Nadrishyam, Adrishyam. So the correct explanation should not be, the correct explanation be not available for eyes, not available only for Chakshushindriya. So why are you saying not available for all organs of perception? How do you say Adreshyam means Buddhi Indriyanam Agamyam? They challenge Bhashyakara. You should have said Chakshurindriyanam Agamyam. We could have accepted because Adrishyam means I cannot see, invisible. For that, we have an explanation. And this is a very famous usage, very popular usage in the Shastras, etc. In fact, the word etc. itself is a very, very loaded word. In Sanskrit, it is called Upalakshana. So when we say it is not, when we say Adrishyam, not available for the eyes, it is a Upalakshanam. Upalakshanam means a representative word. A word which represents itself and also the other members of the group it belongs to. That type of word is called Upalakshanam. For example, if I ask you, what did you have for breakfast? And you say, I had dosa. Does that mean that you only ate dosa? You must have eaten dosa with chutney, sambar, idli powder, etc. So many things, South Indians, we eat. So when you say just dosa, it is upalakshanam. For all other things that you ate along with dosa, you don't need to name each of them separately. So this dosa, or in Tamil dosai, is representative word. It denotes itself and it denotes all other items also which are members of the same group, which are connected with dosa. Of course, it will not denote other items like table on which you are sitting and the chair in which you are, table in which you are having the plate, chair in you are sitting. That doesn't denote all that, because you can say further the argument, table, chair are also connected with the dosa. No, not that way. Intimately connected with the dosa. So that type of a word is called Upalakshanam. So here, when it is said Adrishyam, which denotes only Chakshurindriya, it is an Upalakshanam and represents itself and also other sense organs, organs of perception, all organs of knowledge. This is how we can derive the meaning of Adrishyam and extend it to all the sense organs. We can say it is Indriya Agocharam, not available for any organ of perception. This is the general route we will all follow to explain this objection of Adrishyam. Adrishyam means only invisible. But Bhashyakara takes another different route. So in the next line he says, Drisher Bahi Pravrittasya Panchendriya Dwarakatvat. Explaining the word Adrishyam, he says Drishehe means Drishi. Drishti. Drishi means Drishti. Drishti means perception. Bahihi Pravrittasya Panchendriya Dwarakatvat. Bahihi Pravrittaha means which is active outside. In Vedanta, when the process of knowing or perception is described, Vedanta has got its own prakriya, its own way of explaining. Tattvabodha students can recall in this context what we have learned in Tattvabodha. We have learned that Chaitanyam, the consciousness, operates at two levels. At macrocosm level and at the microcosm level. That is at the level of totality and at the level of individuals. For the sake of convenience, we label the consciousness at the macrocosm level as original consciousness. Now, question is, does the same original consciousness also pervade all individuals? If so, it would mean that there is one total consciousness. The answer is no. Because if that were so, one total consciousness will get divided into so many individual consciousness, which is not possible because consciousness is nirvikara, changeless. Then how do we explain consciousness at the individual level? And therefore, Vedanta says, and you, Tattvabodha students, I have shown this in a chart also. I had, when Tattvabodha classes was there's a nice chart we had prepared. Original consciousness, reflected consciousness. So at the individual level, Vedanta says the sentiency which we are experiencing is because of the reflection of the original consciousness. The Antakarana at the individual level operates like a mirror to reflect the one consciousness at the total level as numerous consciousness at the individual level. If you remember, we also saw the example of broken pieces of mirror lying on the ground and one sun visible in all the mirror, all the pieces. Sun is one, but we see so many suns on the ground in different pieces. What are they? They are only reflections of that sun. So sun is one, reflections are many. So that consciousness, that one consciousness at the total macro level gets reflected at the individual level based upon the activity of the Antakaranam. And Antakaranam has got the capability to reflect. And therefore, we label the consciousness at the individual level as the reflected consciousness. And therefore, here we have to understand very carefully, it is not that we have one total consciousness which is divided into millions and millions of individual consciousness. No. There is only one total consciousness, that is which is Advayam, non-dual. But that one total consciousness gets reflected as millions and millions of individual consciousness. So you should recall the example of the mirror, broken mirror, that is pieces of broken mirror lying on the ground, and the original sun shining on the sky, which is reflected in the mirrors. And it is this reflection of the original consciousness at the individual level which provides sentiency to the body, mind, sense complex. It is this reflected consciousness which powers all the faculties and limbs of the body, mind, sense complex, because of which they are all able to function, and we call it a live body. In the Vedanta terminology, the original consciousness is called Chit or Chaitanyam, and the reflected consciousness is called Chidabhasa. And it is said that this Chidabhasa, this reflected consciousness, goes outside to the objects through Panchendriya Dwarakatva, through the gates of the five sense organs, and pervades those objects. And that is how we get the knowledge of those objects. So the Chidabhasa, which is going outside through the gate of the sense organs, is called here Bahi Pravrittaha. So the Antakarana Vritti or Chidabhasa in Antakarana Vritti, which is going out, is called here Bahi Pravrittaha. Panchendriya Dwara means through the gates or doors of the five sense organs. So the reflected consciousness which is going out through the five sense gates, through the five gates or sense organs, is called here Drishi by Bhashyakara. You see the word Drishyam, how beautifully he has used Drishi. And what is Drishi? Drishi means Drishti. And that is why he explains Adrishyam as Buddhi Indriyanam Agamyam. Agamyam means not available for. So Adreshyam means not available for any of the five sense organs, because when Chidabhasa goes out through the five gates, and if the knowledge of Aksharam Brahma is available through any gate, then it would have become Drishyam, the object of Drishehe. Isn't it? If you are able to hear Brahman, if you are able to smell Brahman, if you are able to touch Brahman, it would become a Drishe, an object. Then it will no longer be Adrishyam or Adreshyam. So it is not available for being experienced, being known, being understood by any of the five sense organs. So this is what is Adreshyam. We will see more in the next class. We have lost so much time today, but doesn't matter. We will continue in the next class. Okay. That is, Bhashyakara's thinking outside the box thinking. Well, linear thinking is Adrishyam means that which is not available for sight. Anyhow, we will continue in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Guruji.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. Premaji, you go first. Senior citizen.
Thank you, Guruji.
Lady, first chance.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In Vakshamanam, Buddhau Samhritya. So there, the Buddhau Samhritya, I'd like a little bit more clarification, please.
Buddhau
Samhritya.
It is going to be
Stated later.
stated later and understood.
And understood.
Vakshamanam is going to be stated later. And it will be understood. Buddhau Samhritya means it will be, Buddhau is in your intellect. You will understand that. So when that is going to be the case, you can use the pronouns. Not necessarily that pronoun should be used only when it has been already stated. Even when it is going to be stated later on, you can use the pronoun. That is what Bhashyakara is saying. Is that clear now?
Yes, Guruji, thank you.
Yes, Sitaramji. Sitaram, your hand is up.
Can you
Now
can
I
you hear
can
me?
you are on mute, I think.
Yeah. Sorry.
No,
No, like the last sentence that you said, that you have to see Brahman in everything. Since cricket is the season, there was an ad which said eat, drink, sleep Coca-Cola. Like that, you see eat, drink, sleep Brahman. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. I think yes, in the last class, if it is that old, it's on nursery rhyme, when preparing the notes, I remembered that, old MacDonald had a farm.
You mentioned about it.
Yeah, mentioned. So a quack quack here and a quack quack there, here a quack, there a quack, everywhere a quack quack, like that. Brahman here and Brahman there, everywhere Brahman, Brahman, like that. See Brahman everywhere. That's the only reality. That's the only thing which exists.
Yes.
Everything else, including this, what we are now doing is appearance only. That's not ultimately we have to keep on understanding this. This is not an understanding which will come in one class, right? Even by one Upanishad or one Bhagavad Gita, it will not come. We have to continue this process. So many other things we have to bring in, in terms of, like I explained by Puja Swami, that's why, when his explanation and all. When you talk about, as I said, dhira, maturity and all, being kind to oneself, being kind to others, that compassion is one of the lakshanam. When you are compassionate, you see everybody as yourself. And when you see everybody as yourself, then you are seeing everybody as Brahman only. So you can extend that same explanation right up to the end. So this is how, excellent teachers of Vedanta bring in ideas rather. And we have to absorb what is the idea that they are conveying. Yeah.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Good. Any other question or remarks? Nothing is there that I can close the session.
Yeah, I think done.
Okay. Hari Om. Thank you
Hari Om.
all very much.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om.